So you're on your way to Spain for a global opportunities trip. What a great way to experience the Spanish culture than going to Spain. What is so great about Spain is the social atmosphere. It's fantastic. It's all around the Spanish culture. There are several different things about the Spanish culture that you should probably think about when you're going to Spain. The first thing is the social cues. They're slightly different. You might experience a time when you're meeting someone for the first time and they go to give you a hug or they kiss you on the cheek. Now that's a little different than you might find here in the United States. That's okay though. Don't be afraid. It's very social. It's very friendly. The people in the Spanish culture just experience each other in such a way that the American society doesn't, that it seems different to us. Another difference that you might find in the Spanish culture is the food and the food preparation. We eat our largest meal in the United States when? In the evening. It's the last meal that we eat. We receive some sort of large entree, and we're pretty much engrossed in that large entree to the extent that conversation might be hurt. That's not true in Spain. They eat their largest meal in the afternoon around 3 o'clock. In the evening, their meal might start somewhere around 9 p.m. where they include a social atmosphere that we don't always see in the U.S. Now, in Grand Rapids, you have the opportunity to experience a little bit of that at Chez Bistro. They bring something that no other restaurant has in Grand Rapids, and it is that little bit of Spanish culture, that social atmosphere, and it's usually served in a style of food called tapas. So I think we need to discover what tapas food really is. Tapas food comes from, drinking of wine. In the Spanish culture, sherry is a popular drink for the evening meal, and fruit flies used to gather above friends' drinks as they were socializing and enjoying the evening meal. And so they would place cheeses and meats on top of a small piece of cardboard and cover that over their drink. And so it was literally on top of the drink. So that tapas style of dining has just taken off, and you see tapas bars all over Spain that encourage this idea of small plates and appetizer style foods that eventually fill you up quite quickly. Something else to think about in the tapas dishes are the flavor palette. And Chez Bistro does a great job of having Spanish culture with a little bit of a Caribbean twist. Their dishes offer this spice palette that cannot really be matched anywhere else that I've been able to find. The way that it was described to me in a recent interview at Sanchez with one of the waitresses, Larissa, was not so much Thai food kick, that spice, that ginger, but that spice palette mixed with a savory palette that the Spanish culture offers that just makes the dishes well balanced and not with such a strong, harsh kick that you might see in a Thai food dish or a Mexican style dish. Lastly, the difference that you might find with the food in the Chez Bistro specifically is the style of eating. Again, this idea of sharing and really experiencing each other and experiencing the conversation and the people around you. Guests at Sanchez are encouraged to stay as long as you want. Well, I should say as long as the restaurant is open. But the idea is that you stay and you sit and you talk and you really find the same social atmosphere that you would in that of Spain. So I really recommend taking a trip before you leave on your big trip down to Sanchez Bistro in Grand Rapids and experience a little bit of that and talk to the waitresses or waiters and find out what they have to offer, because everybody there knows, it's a family concept, it's a family idea, it's that social construct that the Spanish culture has brought to Grand Rapids, Michigan.
It's a really good concept of family and fun here. So it's more of come and eat, have a good time versus come and eat and leave type of deal. We recommend people to stay, drag their tapas experience out like you would if you're having tapas in Spain. Sit for a while, chat, have fun while eating really good food. I would say culturally we take more from the atmosphere style that tapas is. It's supposed to be a pre-dinner meal that you go. So you go around 9 o'clock, you'll go out for a couple of different drinks and little food items with your friends, and then later on around 11 you'll eat a meal. They eat their biggest meal during the day around 3, so it's mostly just munching throughout the night. So it's more based on that idea than the actual time in which they eat. Beyond the actual concept of tapas, a lot of our food has Mediterranean flavors to it. So there's a lot of seafood, a lot of spices, a lot of play on flavors, so a lot of like savory dishes. So like one of my favorites was the banana cream shrimp there. So it's got a spice, a kick to it, but then it's also got like the savoriness of the banana and the cream sauce to kick off that spice, or like the crawfish stew. But yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of kick in some of the dishes, but they're not spicy, like hot, burn your mouth. They're like more of like, you're getting the taste of the flavor versus like, like Thai food's going to be really peppery and hot. It's not going to be in that way. It's more going to be like savory.
Well, we were at Sanchez Bistro. We spent some time talking to our waitress Larissa about her experiences in Spain, and she had such a lovely experience there, she said. She told us all about some of the foods that she ate and the culture there. She absolutely loved the style of socializing and that social atmosphere that you find only in Spain, or the Spanish culture. Larissa was very informative. She talked all about the food and the spice palette and some of her favorite dishes. And she said that the ideas that she encountered in Spain, she's really brought over to her style of living in the United States. Now, she's native to Grand Rapids area and absolutely loves Grand Rapids, but she said even going out now, she loves that style of eating, that tapas dish where you're really experiencing each other so much more than just eating a meal from one specific entree that you'd order off a menu. It doesn't have the same idea of social bonding and finding each other and experiencing each other. Eating one entree is really directed at that entree, and it's very individualistic and very like the United States culture where we push for individualism and not always that social binding that we see in other parts of the world.
Hi. So first of all, I'd like to apologize for the lighting conditions. I'm afraid I don't exactly have quite the lighting setup that Dan Cavanaugh was able to find himself. But I hope this still helps you. I was given the task of explaining the Spanish culture through scientific means, particularly rational, objective, and empirical aspects of it. Coming at it from a rational standpoint, rationality really just deals with like how logical is what they're doing. Like, does it make sense? And as Dan has explained, it came about almost as like a, almost, I don't want to call it an accident, but it was just something that someone started and it caught on. It's a tradition, and it places more emphasis on mealtime, and I guess there's more to a meal than just eating and consumption and filling your stomach. There's a sense of it just being like a social gathering, a discussion at times. Empirical just deals with it being observable and not just hypothesized, and is it based on facts? And while we weren't able to go to Spain, me and Dan, I guess we kind of did the best we could with our time that was allotted and our budget. So yeah, we went to Sanchez, downtown Grand Rapids, which is part of a larger chain, but it deals in serving food in this tapas sort of format. Our waitress was, I think it was really neat that we found the waitress that we had, because she personally had been to Spain and had worked as a waitress there for like 4 years. So she was just a great person to get statements from. I felt like she had a really fair viewpoint of the contrasting cultural dinner philosophies. And objectivity, that just deals with, I guess, was the people that compiled the data, like they leave out their presuppositions and their own personal bias. And me and Dan went into this completely with an open mind. I mean, there was some food that I normally wouldn't have ordered, just based on the descriptions, but we were willing to try anything once. And so we asked for like our waitress's opinion on what was popular, and we just sort of based our order more around that, just trying to get the full experience rather than just what we thought we might like. Overall, it was a really neat opportunity. It would take some getting used to for me, because I'm the oldest of 8 kids, and when it was mealtime, you had to eat as fast as possible, otherwise there'd be no food left for you, or you wouldn't be full. So it's a little bit different to sort of, I guess, savor the food, from that aspect. It was also a little different just due to me being in college right now and being on a college food budget. Now, I'm not sure if the prices at Sanchez are reflective of Spanish culture whatsoever, but we ended up paying something around $50 for the two of us to eat, and it's a little heavy for I guess a guy that's used to going and getting 3 McChickens or something, and calling that a meal. So yeah, it was neat, and it was great getting to spend time with Dan, and yeah, I hope you have a good experience in Spain like we did at Sanchez.